everybody.
Hey everybody, this is the Unicorn and a Fairy. I'm Joanna, your sparkly unicorn.
And I'm Kevin, your spicy fairy with combat boots on. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
We didn't really know what kind of subject we wanted to cover, except this morning I have been for a little while, a little bit cuckoo for drag. And I don't quite know why, except for the fact that it seems like it's fun. What are your thoughts, Joanna?
Oh, I think it's absolutely fun. I
Yeah,
mean, to be able to put something on yourself and be somebody different.
hmm.
How exciting is that to just step out of like who you are for a minute, right? A minute, 2 minutes, an hour.
Well, it's not only is it fun, it's
Yeah.
fascinating, and it's
Yeah.
also, you know me, I'm curious. I want the backstory, I want the tea, I want the who are you when you don't have all this on? Then I want to know how did this person get into this? And I'm sure by the end of whatever we're doing, not today, but another day, we will likely have somebody who does this that can come
Uh,
on here and chat about it, although I don't know. Um,
I know we will. So
do you want to tell, or can we tell people what your daughter's Instagram is, or is that private? Do you have to ask her first?
I can ask her, but I can put it down on the bottom so everybody can go there. Yeah,
Yes.
because they both of my children do makeup,
Mm,
and but my older daughter, she is my hairstylist, and she's also a makeup artist. She's
mm.
yeah,
But your
I am
daughter,
thrilled.
when you shared with me her Instagram account and I saw those videos, I was like, oh my goodness, taken into a land far, 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 far away. With all, it's like she has landscapes on her face and then puts all sorts of things to it. This is the level of what I call divine creativity that comes from somewhere, just comes from somewhere, like it's channeled. It's a different kind of channeling. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would, and I think it brings such joy when
Well,
she's able to do that. I mean, this is her joy. Yeah.
so she does that to go out in, or she does that just
Sometimes,
okay.
yeah, they go out and they dress up, depending on what a costume party, a Halloween party, you name it. And they're very expressive.
The art of, well, of course, way back in the day, and I'm going way back. It's called female impersonation.
Yes.
When I was a little boy in the 60s, there was an entertainer. That's what they were called back then. If they ended up on the TV or if they ended up becoming someone prominent, they would become entertainers. And the one that comes to mind is a man named Danny LaRue. Danny LaRue was a very tall, very slender British man who was incredibly good looking, whether he was impersonating a female or being himself. He at one point was in the armed services, born in the 1930s, I think. And then after World War II, and he came back to obviously civilized civil world. They call it Civvy Street.
Hmm.
Someone suggested that he become an entertainer, and that's what he wanted to do. But he never wanted people to believe that he was trying to be a woman. He always wanted people to know that when he stood on a stage and he entertained, he was a man wearing a dress, wearing makeup, very much like Barry Humphries, who became Dame Edna Everage. So I kind of grew up with these iconic, now they would call them drag queens. Even in the 80s, and then we had, you'll remember this, the gender benders such as Boy George. When Boy
Yes.
George in the 80s was Come a Chameleon, that song, where I think he even published a makeup book. He certainly,
I loved the whole look and I loved his music and fantastic.
And then I think the whole drag cabaret, female impersonation sort of took a back seat during the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, unless it was the movie Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. That was a whole story about a man who couldn't get a job on a soap opera and ended up getting a job, but he had to impersonate a woman to get it. And then other
Same thing with Mrs. Doubtfire.
correct. So
Yeah.
this, and of course, the stage production of Torch Song Trilogy, which was loosely based on Harvey Firestein's life. I think our culture, both, wherever it is in the world, has had this delightful artistic thread running through it. And more so now, where we have gender identity or non binary or the question about pronouns and youngsters or young people, I shouldn't call them youngsters, young people, a newer generation who are embracing whatever they want to embrace. And there's a little tiny bit of combativeness to it, but there was when I was coming up. There was a pushback of we are who we are, we're here, we're queer, get over it. That's sort of like been this thread. So anyway, I'm inspired to purchase some makeup. And you and I have talked about that. And
Yep.
maybe getting on here and putting some on. And
I would love to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
we should
I think
ask
everybody would love to see that.
I
Yeah.
think we should ask our audience if that's something they would be interested in seeing. And do they want to see us go through the process of it? Because I think it would be a giggle. I certainly think it inspires me to think, what kind of character would I be? And what wouldn't, whether does it have a wig? Does it not have a wig? There's an English stand-up comedian whose name escapes me, who goes out and does his stand-up routine, no wig, just full face makeup and high heels. Very funny man, just delightful. And I forgot what his name is, and I'm sorry, but he's an English fellow. The name will come to me right when we log off.
You're right.
Here I am chattering away. What are your thoughts on any of this?
Oh no, I think it's wonderful to express yourself in whatever way anyone finds creative and wonderful and freeing, and I think it's fantastic.
It is certainly I've not ever been to, whether it's a drag brunch or a pride event, where these truly amazing entertainers are not having a good time. And everybody who's in front of them has a good time. I think
Yeah.
it's not only a rare talent to transform yourself, as you said, it's art in motion, but the
It
ability,
is art. It's absolutely art in motion.
and it's the ability to entertain people. Like most of them could easily be stand-up comics. I don't know what they would be like if they didn't have the character behind it. Like my new obsession is Trixie Mattel. Did you say
Yeah.
your daughter,
Yeah, they watched Trixie. Yeah.
your child, I should say, your daughter?
Yep.
child.
Yep.
How was that for you when you were approached by the pronouns and the correct, I guess you would say, diction, grammar? What would you say, the correct
Well,
language?
I it was a very different kind of thing because I didn't grow up like that. So you keep forgetting and you keep saying she and it's a process. It's definitely a learning curve, but I really I love them. And no matter what my children are, no matter what anybody is, I love them. So yeah, when I was approached, it was those sort of like, oh, okay. I didn't know this was a thing. And I'm still learning about it because it's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we don't know.
And I like that.
I
So
do too, because I'm very curious and I like to know things.
that's how we
So,
get along so well.
yes.
What I will say is curiosity kills judgment.
Yeah, it does.
It is the most incredible antidote for anyone who may or may not have a judgment about it. And for me, judgment comes from a place of fear.
Well,
It,
I heard John Edward Grant say, and I love him. I think he's absolutely fabulous. If anybody hasn't seen him, heard him, watched him, get on and watch John Edward Grant.
you've said his name for the first time, and I don't even know who that is. So
Oh
tell
my gosh, he's a
what
polymath.
he's a
Yeah,
what?
so a polymath. He can do anything. He's brilliant. But
Did
I
you say a
think
polyman?
polymath.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's brilliant. Yeah. I just think when I heard him say once that fear, you could replace judgment in the place of fear, so that you have love and judgment.
We have
And
oh
I thought,
love and fear.
yeah,
You have love and judgment.
right.
Is
I mean,
judgment
we're looking in a mirror when we do that.
when we judge?
Of course. Yeah.
Well, I've heard that from way back in the 80s when whatever it is you have an issue with in another person is very much something you haven't resolved in yourself.
Right.
Because if you resolved it within yourself, you wouldn't have
You
an
wouldn't
issue.
be judging it.
Correct.
Right. You wouldn't be fearing it. You wouldn't be judging it.
And then there's judging the person who's judging. Oh, that's another tangled web. You want to come from a place of understanding and curiosity, but then you find yourself judging the person who's judging someone else. Oh, another tangled web. And I think that's what leads societies, cultures into the diversity, the
And
division.
I have to, okay, so you know this, but my child was threatened to be killed in high school.
Threatened to
And
be killed.
killed. Okay. So when we went in and we were talking about taking them out of school and putting them in a different one, I was so angry. Like, how could this happen? Why does this happen? And they turned around and said at that point in time, hurt people hurt people. It's okay. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. Like the forgiveness that I saw, and our children are definitely our teachers.
Hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of folks who have a challenging time reconciling that. Because, on the surface, we want to forgive until it lands in our plate, in our lap, in our house.
I had a very different feeling at that point in time.
When it landed with you.
I was angry.
Yeah. And I feel these days, in our current whatever is, people have an anger, and many people want to pretend that they don't.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. That's absolutely correct.
They want to not be angry. They are angry, and you can tell there's anger underneath it. And it's like, I wonder how we reconcile that. Usually, it was someone I'm close to, it's somebody I know.
Have a conversation.
Well, I will usually hold space to get it out. Like, let's get it out. And then I'm going to probably passively frame it in, there's something that's not sitting right with me, and I want to run it by you first before I dive in, and then give that person the opportunity to fess up or come clean. If they don't necessarily fess up and come clean, I really think I've got to let it go.
Right. I agree. Because it's really not, at that point, it's not your issue.
It's interesting actually wearing this shirt today. Let me show people what it says.
Oh, I love that.
I've taken to wearing bright colored shirts have a message on it. Like you've seen my one that's mint green that says choose happy. it's how I feel, and it's sort of like, in a way, how I prefer to present myself, so I don't have to have awkward conversations. That just, this is who I am, and I'm wearing who I am, who I believe I am.
Well, when I did my hair pink,
Yes.
the first month, I had a guy walk up to me, and I think I was at Home Depot or something like that, and he said, "Oh, we getting ready for Halloween?" Yeah, and I said, "No, actually."
So that's so fascinating. The context with which he said it, do you believe it was sort of like sarcastic, snarky?
It definitely was.
So the man didn't think it was because I felt like it. He felt like you should not be seen in public with pink hair.
Oh yeah, and I've told people, you want to know why I did my hair pink or dyed my hair pink? Ask me. I'll be more than happy to share why I did it with people. And I've had that conversation with people because they have walked up to me and been like, "Are you sure you want to keep your hair pink?" Nobody says that to me anymore. I don't get that. All I get is, "I love your hair." But I have had to tell people, when first time I had lung nodules, and it wasn't the first time, it was the first time they told me like my lungs were scarring. I came home and I said, if this is what's going to happen to me, I might as well live in my joy. And it was fuchsia. The first time around, it was fuchsia.
Which is what, more of a violet shade of pink?
It's a very, very vibrant pink.
They call that something. Pantone called that something orchid. It's really another name for fuchsia, but Project Runway did one, and that was their color of that episode, was something orchid. Crazy.
And I've had it like this for almost 6 years.
It's interesting to see you when it's fading out. You need to top it back up again. Is odd, just to see it's a sort of a pastel blonde rather than a straight up pink. Have you ever thought about getting a pink wig and rocking a pink wig?
I have so much hair. I mean, we've talked about this too, that anytime I put a wig on, that it's been a little difficult, but I don't think I know how to do it properly. So that's the.
Well, you could get pieces. In fact, you could almost get a wig and not pull it all the way to your hairline, pull some of your hair out.
Right.
And then attach the wig to your hair, since you say you've got so much. And if it was a similar shade to your own hair, don't know that it would really make a difference.
Which they do have similar shades to my hair. Yeah.
That's why I asked.
I've never put one on, actually. Yeah.
So we should plan ourselves a little dress up party where we this will be fun to record the whole process, like we're doing here, having a chit chat. It's in record, so we don't lose communication, and then edit it in so we can see. I mean, how long does it take you to put makeup on?
10 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's it.
Well,
look, it's not like I've got like a ton of makeup on. It's, that's it.
So watching these, I think I'm allowed to call them queens. Watching these queens put their makeup on, I was floored. One queen said it takes 2 hours for them to put their makeup on. They said that if they were doing it in a hurry, they could probably do it in 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm thinking, well, then why does it take 2 hours if you can do it in 45 minutes to an hour? And then
because they're laughing and having a good time, probably. I don't know.
Well, have you ever watched one of them? It's the whole, what goes on first? The primer. Or I don't know whether the moisturizer goes on first or the primer goes on first, but there's one load of goop that goes all over the face first, then some kind of primer. After the primer goes on, there's this shellacky looking stuff that they call concealer foundation. That goes on, right? Then our color, the face is just one like blank canvas. And then we have looks like white stuff under the eyes, down the nose, in the chin, here, on the forehead. And it looks like somebody just went into a bag of flour and pushed flour at them. Then comes a stick. One queen had this darker color stick and did a whole ring around the face. And then I'm thinking, you kind of look like a clown. And then they get the brushes and they brush it in. And then it's like the eye. It was just layer and layer and layer. I'm thinking what these people must spend in cosmetics is unreal. Now, Trixie Mattel admits that he worked the MAC counter somewhere in a mall.
Yes.
And he said he ended up getting fired. I think it's fascinating enough to where I want to dive in. I want to see what this is like, how this is. Maybe I'll, record some practice sessions, getting it right with the eyelashes. I can't really see too much without glasses. So
yeah, me neither. So,
trying to work eyeliner and lashes and all of this would be a little bit of a challenge. So
I've got contacts, so I'm going to put my contacts in when we do that.
So what if you don't have contacts? Do you have to get one of them big magnifying mirrors?
Listen, I have a magnifying mirror. It's 10x, and I don't think that's enough. I'm always like, okay.
So your mirror is a hand mirror, or is one with lights?
No, I stick it. It sticks onto my bathroom mirror. I have one that's down below too that has lights on it, little one. And then I have a little one that sticks onto the bathroom mirror. And I need one that's like probably 25x. I don't know. I don't even think they make those.
Was this definitely worth exploring a little bit more? I think it is. Maybe get some of these cosmetic companies to not sponsor it, but we can give a shout out to what we're using and why we're using it and where we get idea. I mean, I just feel like it is. I'm almost tempted to go onto Trixie Mattel's website and buy the cosmetics. That man, girl, queen, has a whole cosmetic line.
Good for them.
I mean, seriously, there's a video where he goes all through his warehouse and shows you robes and t-shirts, and he had a whole line of Teletubby makeup. I'm like, this is off the chain, off the chain. But to your point, it's fun, makes you smile, makes you giggle, and as far as I'm concerned, just like what we're doing, it's what the world needs.
It's fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And when you are in your joy, it just makes so much of a difference.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
All right. What can we send our viewers home with? What parting little nugget can we send them home with?
I think they should try to do their makeup a little differently, maybe, and go out and just enjoy how other people see them. Because we don't have to do the same thing every day.
Ooh, that last.
I mean, there are days that I have big lashes on, and there are days I have a lot of makeup on, or it depends on where I'm going. I mean, I think we can be like the magician, right? And be who we are, who we need to be, we want to be, who we.
So your nugget is.
I think of Marilyn Monroe when I think of the magician. She was very quiet and an introvert, but when she went out, she was who she needed to be.
There is a rare, you bring that up. I think it's a B-rated movie, and it would take some time to find it, called Goodbye Norma Jean.
Yeah.
I don't know if Marilyn Monroe played that part or whether somebody else did it. But I remember watching it way back, somewhere in the 80s, maybe late, and it was all about how she went from, was her name Norma Jean Baker?
Norma, I don't know what her last name, but it was Norma.
Her name was Norma Jean Baker to Marilyn Monroe. Now, most of what happened was a result of other people seeing something in her and giving her that persona, which is, the other day I was thinking, I wonder what would happen if I were to glam up and become somebody else. I don't know, You know how Mrs. Doubtfire, Dame Edna, like an older, mature, housewifey looking woman, and do readings, and do cards and pull spirits in. I mean, I just feel like, to me, that would just make me giggle and laugh out loud. And who would it hurt? You know, I'm not sure I
No.
would go to the grocery store like it, or maybe I would.
It might be fun.
In downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, here comes this middle-aged drag queen doing shopping. Walking around Whole Foods, taking a camera with me, finding out what people think, what they don't think. Oh, that would be hysterical.
Yes, it would.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, my friend, until next time, that's going to be it from me. What about for you?
Oh, and I just want everybody to know that no matter what you look like, no matter what kind of makeup you put on, no matter what you're wearing, we love you.
Yeah,
We see
yeah, for
you.
sure.
Yeah.
What love is love, no matter what
Yeah,
shape,
love is love.
what it comes in.
Yeah.
And no matter where you are, who you are, what you're up to, there is always love. If you're not
Yes.
feeling it, find a way to get into it. All right, my
And
friend.
this July, coming July, get out there. People, get out there.
Ooh, do you have any
Yes.
astrological nuggets for July?
That July is going to be a big month for everyone. So we will, the next time we come on here, which we're going to do a lot of more than we have been, but July is a big month for everybody. So don't hide in your houses anymore. Get out there.
Is that a teaser?
It is a teaser.
It's a teaser for the month of July, astrologically, psychically, what?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The last time I
Joanna's-
actually wrote dates down and had a big, I did write July down.
you've
So
got
it's
as
a
far
big
as
month.
writing the title. You haven't finished the.
No, as far as psychically getting things.
Well, then maybe you
Um,
write the notes, and you, instead of doing a workbook, you plonk it up on here. That would
Yeah,
be fun.
July's a big month. So everybody needs to just, get out there. Show yourself off.
Show you. Well, it is this. Well, we're going on a Cancer into Leo.
Right.
So, and Leo's. I'm a Leo ascendant, so that means show off,
Right.
be seen.
Be
Yeah.
seen.
All right, my friends, that's it from me.
I love you.
All right.
Mwah.
Bye.